There's someone else here who would also like to say something.
This is Admiral Paris.
Hello, sir.
How are your people holding up?
Very well. They're an exemplary crew. Your son included.
Tell him I miss him.
He heard you, Admiral.
Why the long face, Mr. Barclay?
Because it's over, sir.
No, Lieutenant. I'd say that Project Voyager is just beginning. Thanks to you.
Anyway, time to find out which is the best Star Trek. Make it so! Who'd have thunk it? Star Trek is now 54 years old. The first one came out in 1966 and comprised of 79 episodes up to 1979, and then nothing for about 10 years, and then the movies came out. Although there was going to be a Star Trek Phase 2, but that never happened because it became the motion picture, or slow motion picture as I call it. But from then on, in the 80s, came its sequel, Star Trek. I don't know why I'm doing that. Star Trek: The Next Generation came out. From then, a spin-off after spin-off after spin-off. And now it's just been confirmed that Captain Pike will return in Star Trek Strange New Worlds out next year. So really, in 2.5 years, we've had Star Trek Discovery, Star Trek Picard. There is talk of doing this Star Trek Section 31, and now Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which is definitely being given the go-ahead. And they'll be out next year. So in this episode, I want to know which is worst to best of the TV series of Star Trek, the live-action ones, that is. So these episodes I'm about to rank now is of my choosing, which I think is the weakest to the best. I won't say the worst, and that's a bit harsh, so I'd say the weakest, the ones I don't really watch, and then to the best, which I'll probably not every word of. So without further ado, and don't like my spaceships. If you notice in the background, there's a few Enterprises. So without further ado, let's see which is worst, weakest to best. Again. Straight off the back of Star Trek Voyager was this prequel series in 2001. Set 100 years before the days of Kirk, this stars Scott Bakula as Captain Archer, who goes on many adventures on the Enterprise NX-01. This series managed to limp until 4 seasons before it called it a day. Star Trek Enterprise is the first Star Trek series that I can honestly say I've not seen all the episodes. In a little bit season 4, but I just it's like watching paint dry. I know it's got its fans, and if you love it, great.
Would you like to finish it, Captain?
This latest Star Trek series sees the return of Patrick Stewart as Captain Picard, and is a direct sequel to the movie Star Trek Nemesis. I really, really wanted to like this series. I love Patrick Stewart, and I love the character of Captain Picard. And I was even hoping one day to do a Captain Picard spin-off, which they did. And 10 episodes of one story, that was bloody boring. I must admit, I am looking forward to season 2 to see where it goes. But it's just issues with it. There's things they did, and I went, oh, poor you. I mean, for God's sake, why? 9's in it, that's great, but it just reminded me of like the new Doctor Who series. Let's make it less about aliens and space and more about diversity. It should have been just called Star Trek Diversity, Because that's not what it seemed to be, yeah? Let's get 9 with this woman. And how does she get away with murder? Oh, no. No. Looking forward to the next season, but... No.
Shut the fuck up.
Talking of F-bombs, here's another series like to F and Jeff. This is yet another prequel series for Star Trek, taking place some years after Enterprise, well, about 15 years before Kirk comes on board. Set aboard the USS Discovery, we have yet another bunch of diverse characters, but this time instead of following a captain, we mainly follow a female lead called Michael Burnham. I won't lie, I nearly gave up by episode 3 because I thought, wow, where's this going? Title shit doesn't even appear till, second, third episode. It's got more action than Picard, I'll give you that. And it's got some fun characters, but again, it just... I don't know, it bugs me. I'm glad they brought Pike in. That's quite a good thing on Spock. That I am excited to see. And I will watch season 3 of Discovery because it's slowly getting better, but I still... As a new series, it's kind of ignoring the old formula. Let's make it a bit more new. Let's give it titles a bit like Westworld and Game of Thrones. Let's throw through F-bombs in. No, you don't need the swearing. But that said, it's got a good cast, and alright, the ship can go when it wants. That's called lazy writing. But then again, it's got some good acting, and I like Tilly.
That's me.
Oh, and side note, if you end up watching season 1 again of Discovery, take a note of a few episodes with Michael Burnham. Every now and then when she's in distress, she keeps going...
Hello, this is Captain Tilly. What the hell? What the hell?
Used to love watching this back in the day when I used to work in a video shop. But as the series got by, again it started bringing in this long arcs. It's 2 parts, it's 3 parts, it's 4 parts, and like come the last series, it was an 8 part at one point. Again, it's drawn out. Any episode that featured Bajorans or Ferengis, I'm bored with this. And I've just rewatched the series, funnily enough, on Netflix. And some I just skip. I'm like, no, that's Bajoran, no, that's Ferengi. Oh, I love that one. Yeah, I love things like Whispers. I thought was great. Yeah, so even though I find some of the episodes, I can't be bothered with that. There's some cracking stories in there. I think some won an award. I definitely like the one where they get stuck on a planet and the planet's got descendants of the crew. There's some cracking stories. Don't get me wrong. It's got a great cast. June Bashir at the beginning, I could have whacked him, but he grows on me after a bit. Him and Chief O'Brien get on famously. Only it ruins it for me is Cisco. And Cisco, what is wrong with him? From episode 1, he's like, why's this not done? You even hear him at one point. I think it's the one where he's impersonating somebody back in time. You actually hear him going, with his baseball. Jesus Christ, go on holiday and have a... Overall, some good episodes, but just a series that drags a bit. However, I've got fond memories of it, and I like Quark and I like Odo. And Terry Farrell. Let's face it, if this classic didn't exist, well, this list wouldn't exist. What a paradox. Okay, so the show's looking old, but it's also new special effects, a new audio added, and it is an absolute blast if you watch them. Yeah, there's some stinkers like Spock's brain, but you can't beat the teamwork of the crew. It is what started it all and made it fun. This is Star Trek.
And Captain, the magnetic flux readings are higher.
You will leave this orbit and plot course to galactic coordinates 036.231.
That's the heart of the galaxy, Captain. Plot the course, Mr. Sir.
Join me. Together we shall be the architects of our own future.
So my number 2 choice. Oh, I don't want to just go mad. So my number 2 choice is somewhere in the Delta Quadrant. Gotta say, I absolutely love this series. I can watch this again and again. I love the characters in it. I know somebody out there really loves Captain Janeway. I know you are. The series began in 1995 and I was there from the get-go. I absolutely loved every series.
In an uncharted part of the galaxy, somewhere along this journey, we'll find a way back.
But yeah, I've even met some of the cast, as so most of you have. It is a great series. The only reason why it gets to number 2 is some of the stories have been recycled. I can only take so many. Oh no, we're stuck in the holodeck again. The safety protocols are off. 7 and 9, even though she looks stunning in that silver outfit, she annoyed me towards the end. It's just all about her, but you're not fun enough. But you've got the Doctor in it, you've got Neelix in it. A lot of people don't like Neelix, but I do. And he's a chef, so he's got a job, he's got something to do. It's one of those series, and at least it finds its feet right from season 1. It knows where it is, it's in a different Delta Quadrant. We've got 75 years to get back, hell, better start now! So if you've never watched them all, give it a match, and I think you'll find you'll have a new family. And number 1!
At 2200 hours and 12 minutes, the Lala reported contact with an alien vessel described as cube-shaped. We're coming with embryo males.
Launched in 1987, this was the first big break for Patrick Stewart. He actually believed it would flop. Little did he know he'd go on to do 7 years, the first for an actual Star Trek series. I only liked Star Trek as a young kid because my dad was into it, but didn't quite take to it. It's only when I was a bit older, when my father passed away, I started watching some. And then The Next Generation came on. I thought, I've got to watch that. So when it finally came over here to the UK in 1988, I think we got on VHS and we got on BBC Two. And even though the first series was trying to find its fate, it's had flaw with like the characters like Picard was a bit of a dick. What was going on with Diane Troy's voice? So it must be like exotic voice. Towards the end, she was Cockney. Eventually, by season 3, I think its feet was definitely in the sand. It definitely had better uniforms. It looked great. And as for the end of season 3, were the best of both worlds. Jesus. Now, I was lucky because I was a bit behind and somebody bought the box set. So a lot of people in America had to wait like 4 months before they had to continue part 2 to see what happened to Picard. It was being like, tape out, tape in. Let's see what goes on. Like 2-minute difference. Patrick Stewart holds his own as the captain. Like Captain Kirk, because he was a fun captain who got the job done. He went down and, ate a few aliens and that and kissed a few women. Well, Captain Picard, he used his mind instead of, his brawn. That's why he gave it to number 1 to do all the jobs. It just worked. It's a great series. It's got some fantastic stories. That's why it wins number 1 for me, because it's got more consistent stories that go on, that being obviously unfortunately recycled to Voyager and Enterprise and Deep Space Nine. Oh, bloody holodeck. The safeties are off again. As for best score for Star Trek, I had to go for the iconic Star Trek theme, so that's at number 1, where Deep Space Nine is a lackluster theme for me at number 7. As for best Star Trek crew, I'm going to go with the original again. You can't beat Kirk, Bones and Spock, but I do like to hang about with the Voyager crew if I could. That said, if I ended up with the cast of Star Trek Enterprise, I'd make a swift exit at the airlock. All I can say is thank you so much for watching this. You're probably going, why has he picked that? You've probably got your own choices, and that's great. Everybody's got a different thing about Star Trek, and that's good. They're all good in some ways, so I just think some are better than the others, but there you go. My favourite is Next Generation, but my guilty pleasure is actually Star Trek Voyager, so give or take. But thank you for watching again. Hope to do more of these soon. Don't forget to movie choose my channel, hit the bell and all that shit. And I'll see you soon. From me, Captain Dave. See you soon.
Means you, Mr. Wolf. Why are you sitting there?